So we've gone over some of the important parts of Contao, but how do they actually fit together to give you your website? Um, that is kind of tricky to figure out at first, but I'm going to try to draw a picture here that might help you wrap your head around it. We'll see. So probably the first thing to start with is the page itself. So remember, the page is just a location, basically. It doesn't really have the content itself, and that's in the site structure. And so since it's just a location, I'm just going to draw that as a space, basically. And every page has a page layout assigned to it. Um, and that's kind of the master template for the page. And every page has to have a page layout assigned to it. Um, and what that page layout is going to do is pull in all of the other stuff that you've been working on, your articles, your modules, style sheets, and all of that. So um, I'll just represent that like this. So the first thing it's going to do is let you define the different sections of the page. It comes with a default template. You can change it out or add your own sections, but by default, it lets you define the different columns and rows. So I'll just write define sections. And that is going to look something like this. So let's just imagine that this is your HTML document that the Contao's putting out. So let's say you define a header, and that's the HTML here, and a left column, and a main column. There's these squiggly lines are HTML, and then just close it out like that. Next, there will be your articles for that page. So in the article view, whatever articles you've made for that specific page will get pulled in as well, and you get to determine which section the articles are going to go into. So you might say, for example, the articles are going to go in the main column. And so that would look like this. It's going to output all the HTML here. Then next there's the modules. So whatever modules you want to include on that page need to be loaded up there, and you have to pick a section for them to go into. So you might have your main nav in header, and I had that custom nav in the left column. So that'll output the HTML like this. So basically all this stuff here is getting funneled through the page layout onto the page. It's also where you include your style sheets that you want to have, as well as other kind of data that's going to be in the head of the HTML document. So that's how all the different parts you're working on actually get onto the page. You define sections in the page layout and say where you want the different parts that you've been working on to go onto the page. So this can be really powerful because you can pick as many page layouts as you want. and it makes it easy to manage a ton of data. It's important to note that these different sections, though they might be called left column, main column, right column, and so on, those actually aren't going to show up visually on the front end as the columns on their own. They're just breaking it up in the HTML. It still takes a style sheet to move those parts around and define the visual layout. The page layout is more abstract sections, and the CSS is what's going to give it its actual visual look. So I hope that helped. Dig into the other videos and get into Contao.